evening. First of all, I'd like to apologise for the state of me because I didn't expect to be filming anything today, so I haven't really made an effort, but then again, that's not really anything new. So, I didn't know what I was going to talk about. Sorry, I've just been eating peanut M&Ms as well. I'm not just doing like weird face twitches. I didn't know what I wanted to talk about, and I was going to do like a little recap on mine and Ryan's journey. However, I can't do a little recap because I just tried that, and well, not today. I've tried it before, and it keeps coming out like an hour to an hour and 45 minutes because we've been through so much, and I have a lot to talk about when it comes to every single miscarriage you've had. So instead, I wrote something, and I've linked that in the description of the first video. So feel free to go have a read. I'm pretty sure I'm going to talk about things in depth anyway at some point, but at the minute I just cannot do a short recap. I might maybe do like a video for every miscarriage, maybe like then a video for the infertility and stuff. I don't really know yet. However, so I set up an Instagram last night because I don't actually have Facebook at the minute, and I really needed to find a way of like trying to promote this channel. So I set up an Instagram last night, and I now have, where have I gone? Where am I? Oh God, because I've got two on here. It's very confusing. I now have 18 followers. Yeah, I mean, most of them are Juice Plus reps and Unique reps. Oh, I'm choking on my peanut M&Ms. That'll teach me for being a fat fuck. However, I had a message from someone asking me a question, which is amazing. It's exactly what I wanted, and I genuinely didn't think I was going to get one of these for ages. Oh no, here's me talking. But anyway, I did. And I'm not going to mention the lady's name because she hasn't said whether she wants to be mentioned or not, so I won't. But the question was, at any point, did you and your husband consider IVF? Honest answer, no. We didn't. We had the question asked a lot. We actually had it asked, we were going to adopt, so... But when we told everybody we were going to adopt, we had the, have you not considered IVF? Quite a lot, because that's immediately what people think when that you say you can't have babies. But we didn't ever consider it. We spoke about it briefly, but we didn't ever consider it because for the first year, we didn't get a positive at all. After that, we were getting pregnant a lot, but we were losing all of them. So in our minds, like my brother's an IVF baby, and I've got friends that have gone through IVF as well. In our minds, IVF was for women that couldn't get pregnant. Sorry, couples that couldn't get pregnant. And that wasn't us. Like, we were getting pregnant a lot. We just couldn't stay pregnant. So... we personally, I mean, I never really spoke to Ryan about this, but I had my thoughts on it, and I couldn't personally go through IVF with all of the hormones and the appointments and the scans and the meetings and everything, and go through that and then either get pregnant and lose it, because let's face it, like, we'd lost 6 babies at this point. And I just couldn't imagine having to go through all of that just to lose another pregnancy, because I think I would have got my hopes up knowing that it was an IVF, like, managed pregnancy, like medically managed, where, you know, I would have thought, well, you know, they've picked the best embryos and, you know, like, I'm getting help with all this stuff. And I think if I was then to lose that pregnancy as well, I think that would have finished me off. And then also maybe not getting pregnant, like that would have been a bit of a waste, really. And I mean a waste because I know that, and actually to be fair, either outcome, either not getting pregnant or losing it, would have been a waste, because, like I said, I know people that have been through IVF or are waiting for IVF, and they waited for so long. I couldn't personally, in my eyes, go for that, I would not get pregnant or lose it and then think I've just taken someone else's chance away when I knew this was going to happen. So no, it really wasn't anything that we considered, and that's not putting anyone else down. If that's what you want to do, then you absolutely 100% do it. You need to do whatever you want to make sure that you get your family. What we decided on in the end was adoption, and that really was just the best thing for us. So, you know, we went for our meetings and we did, you know, we got accepted in, we had all our interviews and we had our references and we had all our checks and our work was checked, and Ryan's accountant was like told to give a reference, and we'd been to training days, and we were so positive for all of it. We knew that that is how we were going to get our family. Just so happens that whilst we were waiting to go on to stage 2 of the adoption process, which is when you get allocated a social worker and they start building up a profile on you as a couple, we found out that we were pregnant. At no time during that pregnancy did we ever think that we would be able to carry this baby. And there was a lot of, well, when I lose it, when we have a miscarriage, when it doesn't work out. So we didn't actually tell the adoption agency for, I think I was about 8 weeks pregnant when we told them, because we wanted to have a couple of scans first to make sure that everything was okay. We had a scan at 5 weeks, 5 weeks, 5 days. And we saw what we'd seen before, which was a little tiny embryo with a beating heart. That kind of meant nothing to me, that scan. And I know that sounds awful, but we've seen that so many times and then lost it after, that really it wasn't that... I mean, obviously it meant something to me, but it wasn't reassuring. So we wanted to make sure until we had our next scan, which was 7 weeks and 5 days, I believe. And after we had that scan, I then told the adoption agency, because that is the furthest that we'd ever seen on a scan. And also I felt really sick and really pregnant, and I kind of thought that, like, we can't have them holding on any longer, it's not fair. And also, maybe this would be okay. Like, I still had doubts. I still didn't think that we were ever going to get this far as we are now. I certainly didn't think that I would be currently sitting here on maternity leave. Like, I never imagined that. But there was always that little bit of hope, obviously. So we ended up telling the adoption agency when I was about 8 weeks, I believe. But we still really would like to adopt in the future. You know, when we've moved house, because we would need a bigger house to do it. When we've moved house, either we would like to adopt or foster, because it was just such an amazing thing, really. Like, it was such a really good thing that we really wanted to do. And that was kind of like our IVF, if that makes any sense. Like, a lot of couples go for IVF, a lot of couples go for adoption. We chose adoption because we didn't really care if the child was biological or not. We just wanted a child. So I really hope that answers your questions. Obviously, if you've got any more, or you just want to talk about what I've just spoken about, then just hit me up again. It's absolutely fine. And I hope that was helpful. And yeah, if you do have any questions, please send them over, because I have no idea what I want to talk about, and I kind of like feeding off of you guys. I will talk about anything. I'm not easily embarrassed at all. I will quite happily talk in depth about miscarriages and the growth side of it. I will happily in depth talk about pregnancy and the growth side of it, because both of those things have got a lot of growth sides. I don't really care. I'll talk about anything. So if you can think of anything that, you know, you're struggling with, or you just want to know an answer to, like, regarding, like, for starters, infertility, or like years of contraception and like screwing up your body, recurrent miscarriages, the testing behind the miscarriages, adoption, pregnancy, whatever, just send it over and I will quite happily answer anything. So thanks for listening to me ramble on. I'm going to go back to eating my peanut M&Ms because they've been staring at me for nearly 10 minutes now. So I will speak to you guys soon, and thank you so much for the message. Goodbye.